The history of MCWT, in bracket, Moravian Church in Tanzania, goes back to the years of the pioneer, I call him pioneer, Dr. Livingstone. You have been there. Who is the founder of Lake Tanganyika and Victoria Falls in Zambia. But also is the one who assisted to stop slave trade in Africa. The history you have it. You already studied in schools. I can say that Dr. Livingstone is the bridge of Christianity in this part of Tanzania. It is through him European countries open doors to send Christian missionaries to our countries in Southern Sahara Desert.
Assistance tour guide in this area. This building was built by the Arabs. Her name was called Saidi Sarum Muhammad. Was built in 1857. Was the center to collect the slaves.
Alikusanya watumwa kutoka sehemu mbalimbali kama vile Tanganyika Magharibi, Burundi, Congo, Rwanda na kuwaleta hapa.
He take a slave from different parts around this East Africa and let's say Burundi, Congo, Rwanda, and then to bring here.
Baadaye kuwatoa hapa kuwapeleka Zanzibar.
And then to take them to proceed with the journey to Zanzibar.
Zanzibar ndio kulikuwa na kula watumwa.
And Zanzibar was a good market for slaves.
Yule Mwarabu aliendelea na shughuli zake hizo mpaka kufikia mwaka 1871.
And that Arabs proceed with her wares of slaves until 1871. Livingstone reached here. She was a missionary. And Anglican, from Anglican. I told you yesterday, LDM. And he comes as explorer to explore the source of water in this compound. And when he came here, the Arabs let's say they invited him. So it was the one who hosted the Livingstone, that's Arabs.
Madhumuni ya Mwarabu kumkaribisha Livingstone, alifikiria angemshawishi ili washirikiane katika biashara ya utumwa.
And the intention of those Arabs to host Livingstone, their intention was so that they can collaborate, they can partner in slaves trade.
Mwarabu alipomshawishi Livingstone kushirikiana, Livingstone alikataa.
And when the Arabs tend to talk to Livingstone so that they can collaborate on the slaves, and the Livingstone refused.
Livingstone alikataa kwa sababu kwanza wakati anakuja kwa Afrika aliacha nchi za Ulaya kule harakati za kupiga utumwa marufuku tulianza.
And when he refused because when Livingstone he came here, he left in Europe. There's a campaign to stop slave trade, but he wondered why in Africa the still slave trade are proceeding, so that is why he's refused. And when Livingstone refused, Arabs just fear to collaborate, and the Arabs was very inferior to collaborate with the Livingstone. And because of lack of cooperation, the Arabs decided to move and to reach here Livingstone.
Wakati Livingstone yuko hapa, Waingereza wakawa na wasiwasi kwamba
when the Livingstone was here, but on Europe, they was feeling, just to feeling, and maybe Livingstone has already died because it took a long of time, many years.
Gazeti la New York Herald ambalo liko hapa.
The magazine of New York Herald, which is here, that magazine.
Likawatuma wazungu wawili kuja kumtafuta Livingstone huko Afrika.
Sent 2 guys to come in Africa and then you can find Livingstone, if alive or have been died.
John William Shaw na Henry Morton Stanley.
John William Shaw and
Henry Morton Stanley.
That's 2 guys.
Stanley na John walipofika hapa waliambiwa Livingstone amekwenda Ujiji Kigoma kuchunguza chanzo cha ziwa Tanganyika kama vinahusiana na mto Nile.
And when those guys come here, he was told that a man has traveled to Kigoma, Lake Tanganyika, so that they can investigate or explore the source of Lake Tanganyika if are connected with the River Nile.
Stanley na John wakaamua kumfuata.
So Stanley and John decided to follow him.
Wakati ule magari kulikuwa walikuwa natumia punda.
And at that time was no car, so they using donkey. Yes.
Okay. Kilomita 20 kutoka hapa John aliugua malaria na kualisha damu.
And when he started to travel to Kigoma, on 20 kilometers, the condition was not well, so malaria attacked him.
Wakaelewana na Stanley kwamba John aliugua malaria arudi hapa. Stanley amfuate Livingstone kwa Ujiji.
So they decided that the man who was sick, that is John
William,
should come back, and the one who is fit, Stanley should proceed with the journey.
Hivyo John alirudi hapa, kwa bahati mbaya akazidiwa na ugonjwa, akajipiga risasi mwenyewe humu ndani, kaburi yake iko pale kwenye
and the John decided to come back, and he come to the condition was not well, and decided to shoot herself with the gun. And her grapes are there. Grapes.
Stanley alienda paka Ujiji na wakakutana Livingstone.
And Stanley decided to proceed with the journey and meet with Livingstone.
Walikutana tarehe 10 Novemba 1871.
And they was meet on 10 November 1871.
Baada ya kukutana wote wawili, Livingstone na Stanley.
And when they meet, they decided to come back here. Livingstone with Stanley.
Baada ya kufika hapa, walienda kuweka alama kwenye kaburi ya John na ibada ya mwisho.
And when they come here, they decided to go to the graves and to make a fellowship there.
Stanley alimshauri Livingstone warudi.
And Stanley tried to convince Livingstone so that they can back home at Europe.
Livingstone alikataa kwamba yeye anakwenda kuchunguza chanzo cha ziwa Bangweru au Bemba kule Zambia.
And Livingstone refused because he has a mission to go at Zambia to explore the source of Nile, Lake Bangwela.
Huyu Stanley aliondoka kwenda Zanzibar kusubiri usafiri ili arudi. Livingstone alibaki hapo.
So Livingstone refused and still proceed with his mission to Zambia there, but Stanley decided to go home. So travel to Zanzibar and then can get a transport to back home. 25 of August 1872,
Livingstone aliondoka kwenda Zambia.
Started the journey to Zambia
akiwa na watumishi wawili, Chuma na Susi,
with 2 her sisters, Chuma and Susi.
Walipokaribia Zambia, Livingstone kundo wake alikufa.
when there was near to Zambia, her dog died.
Hivyo wale watumishi wake na yeye alikuwa kaugua, baada ya punda kufanya kaugua. When
her donkey died and herself was sick.
Hivyo Chuma na Susi wakatengeneza machela.
Suma and Sus decided to make some sort of stretcher. Okay.
Yes. Alipokaribia Zambia, Livingstone alikufa.
When he was near to Zambia, Livingstone died.
Tarehe 1 mwezi wa 5 mwaka 1873.
First May 1873.
Baada ya kufa wale watumishi wake wawili Chuma na Susi walipasua tumbo.
When died, two guys that was assistants of Livingstone decided to open the stomach.
Wakachukua vitu ambavyo vingeweza kuoza haraka wakavivika kule Chitambo Zambia.
And they decided to take the part of the body which can easily decay, so that they can and then they make the grapes and put those part of her body.
Ule mwili ukapakwa chumvi, baadaye wakaanza kuweka kwenye jua.
And the last part decided to be washed with salt, so that cannot be decayed. Yes, and to drag on the sun. And when it was dried, decided to take that body and then to Zambia and to Zanzibar. Bagamoyo. I mean
Bagamoyo, Zanzibar, Scotland.
Bagamoyo, Zanzibar, Scotland.
Baada ya kufika Scotland, wazungu hawakuamini kama ni Livingstone kweli. Sura ilikuwa imeharibika baada ya kuharibu.
And when he were in Scotland, they fell not to believe if it is Livingstone. So because the face was not real due to the long time. But on his life, when he was alive, her leg was being bent with the lion. So in order the European people to confirm if it's the Livingstone, they decided to make operation on his leg so that they can know if he was a Livingstone. So that was at the mark. And when they make the operation, they believe. And then the funeral was proceeding, and then the grave was there in London. The Livingstone two graves. Yes. One in Zambia and one. And I think it's the only one in the world. And when Livingstone died, that Arabs come back to proceed with slave trade. And when slave trade was abolished, the whole world, the entire world, those Arabs decided to sell this house to Germany.
Wajerumani waliponunua jengo hili wakafungua ofisi zao za utawala kwa muda kwa sababu miaka ile kulikuwa na mji mkubwa kuliko kule.
And when the German buy this house, but that time let's say Tanganyika was the colony of Germany, so decided to this house to be the office, administration office of this territory.
Baadaye wakauhamisha mji wa Germany kumpeleka kule uliko. Baada ya kuhamisha hapa wakafungua kumbukumbu ya mzungu wao.
And when at the time later decided to shift from here to the town center, and this house changed changed their uses to become a museum of Livingstone. Yes.
Baadaye Mjerumani naye akaondolewa na Mwingereza.
And later on, German was shifted by European, British, I mean.
Hivyo Waingereza nao wakaendelea kulitunza mpaka kufika mwaka 1956 wakalifanyia marekebisho.
So those British decided to store in a good condition this house until 1956. Then decided to make a decoration for this house.
Na baada ya marekebisho akaja kufungua governor Sir Edward Twain tarehe 25 Januari 1957.
And after that decoration decided to be reopened by the guest of Hannah.
Edward Twain.
Governor
Edward Twain.
Edward Twain from British.
Na baada ya huo Tanganyika, serikali ya Tanganyika au Tanzania kwa sasa inaendelea.
And after independence, the government of Tanganyika, nowadays Tanzania, are still protecting this house. Finish.
Historical things, because like I could only take half on this floor.
She's gonna give you got that video. Oh, yeah, you've been recording these things?
Not all, everything. I record some of it.
Well, here we know because it's going.
Why did he come in the first place? That's why you're asking.
Mm-hmm. The storeroom.
That's just a portion of who Dr. Livingstone here. Oh, this is the New York Herald that they mentioned in the video, and not in the video, in his explanation. Oh, it seems to be like a newspaper, but it was actually produced here and not in New York. Equatorial Africa.
Walipokutana Newton na Stanley walikutana chini ya mwembe, kipande cha mwembe.
Yes.
It shows what was used, what they had to carry, the elephant tusk, trunk,
And the chains, right?
and these are the things that were used around their neck.
I can imagine. Yes.
And I believe these would be the shackles that were also used. The chains. So these are ankle shackles that were used for slavery. And this is an example of the tool that was used.
16 days. And from here to Bagamoyo, 45 days.
So it's an example of what was used to kill slaves if they weren't able to keep up. Sorry.
And the shotgun, they carry a heavy luggage of elephant trough. You can see some of the picture because the main business was the slave and the elephant trough.
Elephant
Trough.
So they used to take the ivory.
Yeah, ivory and the slave. And when they reach the
So this is the outside area. As the tour guide would have mentioned, it was Arab built, and the persons dealt in slaves. Well, we haven't reached into those rooms as yet, so I won't go in until. But it's really interesting. What's really interesting is to feel the chains and the shackles and stuff, and feel how heavy they were, and see what they looked like, and kind of touch them and think that you were touching history. These are the servants' quarters. You see, like the design and stuff. Of course, the room is very low. This is the donkey stable, quite small. As you would have mentioned, the donkey would have been the main means of transportation. All the rooms are really empty, so there's not much to see other than the signs, and just kind of have an idea of what they look like, what the space may have looked like.